All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me right now. I'll get him for the rest of the season. I'm gonna bring him away from Nesson. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring him away from Nesson.
That's a hard one to do.
I know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Tim Wakefield. Tim, thanks for stopping by
thank
here.
You.
I'll tell you, it's great to see you again.
It's great to be seen.
Yeah, I know, right? Baseball, beautiful day for it. St. Jude's. Let's talk St. Jude's first, and what philanthropy means to you. It's been such a big part of your career and your life.
It has been. I felt very fortunate to do what I did for a living for as long as I did, and I always wanted to support not only the community that I lived in, but also the community that I played in. And in Boston, obviously the Jimmy Fund, the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute was huge. It was a great partnership of the Red Sox, and I've been involved with them as well as now I'm the honorary chairman of the Red Sox Foundation. So we do a lot with Dana-Farber as well as home base program with our veterans. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we do with the Red Sox Foundation, and I feel very blessed to be able to give back and continue to give back even after my playing career.
Eau Gallie High School graduate, went on to play at Florida Tech. You stayed right here.
Yep.
I think that's critical. You see both of those programs, Florida Tech's having a great year. Eau Gallie's having a great year. What's it mean to you to see those programs continue to flourish year in and year out? I
always keep track of how they're doing. Obviously, Jeff Tam took over the job at Florida Tech, and he's done a great job. Eau Gallie High School, obviously my alma mater. Brevard County is a great baseball county.
It is.
It is. Even from the time I was, growing up in the 80s, I mean, we had competition between Eau Gallie North and Eau Gallie South and, Little League. And we were 18 and then through high school with Mel High and Cocoa Beach, who Holy Trinity's playing right now, and Cocoa and Rockledge and Titusville. And we had some great baseball players come out of this county. It was a great baseball county, I think.
We got some great ones this year. We got that left-hander over there at Melbourne and Trey Wheeler, South Carolina commit. So it continues to move on and upwards here. Tim, I'm listening to some of these trivia questions. 17 years with the Red Sox, drafted as a first baseman, And then how did you make that conversion from first base to pitcher?
Well, I was actually drafted out of Florida Tech as a hitter. I was a first baseman there, and I tell people when I got to pro ball, I was allergic to wood. He took that aluminum bat out of my hand, and I was allergic to wood. But it was, knuckleball for me. It's something I learned as a kid. I threw it at Eau Gallie when I was up 7-0 in the 7th inning, so I knew if I made a mistake, it wasn't going to cost us the game. And, I was drafted in 88, didn't do very well. 89 came around. I didn't make a team out of spring training, and I was goofing around playing catch with another first baseman, throwing knuckleballs. And my manager at the time, his name's Woody Huckey. He's actually still part of the Pirate organization. He's almost 90, and he's still hitting fungos every single day.
Wow.
What a great guy. He walked behind me and said, "Holy, you know what? I didn't know you could do that." I'm like, "Well, I pitched in high school." He goes, "Go over to the bullpen mounds and throw for Bruce Keeson, who was our pitching coach down there in extended spring." So I go over there. Nothing else is said. They promote me to Augusta. I'm catching bullpens. I'm playing second base. I'm just trying to be on a team somewhere.
Right.
Then they send me back to the New York Penn League. I was playing for Welland, Ontario. And about halfway through that season, I wasn't playing again. They came to me and said, "Hey, listen, we just went through our organizational meeting. We got to your name. We're going to release you at the end of the season. But Woody Heike spoke up on your behalf, and we want to convert you into a knuckleball pitcher." And I'm like, okay. So next thing I know, I'm getting called in from second base to pitch on the mound in the middle of a game. Manager comes out and motions to me to come to the mound. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "They want you to pitch, so go pitch."
Throw it.
I had like maybe 2 appearances the rest of that season, and they sent me to the instructional league. And 2.5 years later, I'm in the big leagues with the Pirates, pitching against the Braves in the postseason.
Unbelievable,
it's crazy.
And you have had some amazing. Been a part of some amazing moments. Real quick, let me update everybody here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, deuces. Wild, as I like to say here.
Yeah.
Runner at second and third. Cocoa Beach threatening here again. Second consecutive inning, they had a runner at third. As you look back on all of it, it make the conversion. What are 1 or 2 of the biggest moments that stick out to you?
Wow. Obviously, the conversion from a knuckleballer. Once I got into that, I think the biggest moment for me was getting called up to pitch against the St. Louis Cardinals, who were a great team at the time in 1992, and remember facing my first strikeout was Ozzie Smith.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy. Led off the game. I struck him out.
And that ball is lofted into center field, circling under it, hauls it in for the third and final out. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left. We head to the bottom of the third, no score between the Minutemen and the Tigers. So go ahead.
And then obviously the other moment was winning the World Series in 04
Sure.
with the Red Sox. To be
Incredible.
able to share that with, I never believed in curses until 03 when I gave up the homer to Aaron Boone, unfortunately. And then, then we win it. Hearing stories of families going to grave sites and putting jackets or hats or pennants and just putting them on grave sites, knowing how important that was to the city of Boston to be able to bring a World Series championship after 86 years, and being able to share that with generations and generations of Red Sox fans, as well as generations and generations of former Red Sox players that were still around. The Johnny Peskys of the world were still alive. The Jim Rices, the Jim Longborgs, the Dwight Evans, all those guys, the Carl Yastrzemski.
I was going to say, was Yaz still around then? Yeah.
He's still alive. He's still around. He comes around quite a bit. But being able to, hand the trophy to Johnny Pesky in St. Louis, he was at the game, to see the smile on his face, to know that, those generation of players, that the weight had been lifted off their shoulders because of what we did in 04. It was truly amazing.
If you recognize the voice, you should. It's Tim Wakefield, of course, Eau Gallie grad, Florida Tech grad, former Boston Red Sox great. And, Tim, I have to ask you this question because one of my favorite all-time guys in a microphone, and growing up as an Oriole fan, I used to love to watch him play second base, and I know he passed, was Jerry Remy.
Yeah.
The Remmer, just a great guy. Tell me a little bit about him.
Rem Dog was very vital in my career after baseball. Not only during when I played. Jerry would come in. He was with the team constantly. He used to come back in the back of the airplane, and I'd just chew his ear off about what it was like when he played and what can I do better. And I'd meet him in the hotel lobby sometimes. He'd be down there, after a long trip in, and he just would that would be his place. That was where you could find Jerry, in the lobby of the hotels when we were on the road. But more importantly, he taught me when I started working for NESN, he taught me a lot about how to tell the truth without being critical. That's the biggest thing for me as a broadcaster or as an analyst, is never forget how hard the game was when I played. And I still can remember him telling me, you got to tell the truth, but there's a way to tell the truth without being critical of a player.
And that's very vital to even what we do at this level, because these kids are playing for love of it, know, and you can't, and they make a bad play, sure, it's an error, whatever, but you don't want to be critical of it, as Caden Jones, the catcher, leads off here. Tim, I tell you, do you have anything coming up that, anything big coming up?
Just the baseball season. I'm heading up to Boston to work for NESN this coming week. I'm doing the wraparound series, which is close to my heart. It's Patriots Day on that Monday. It's the marathon on that Monday. I was there when the bombings happened, so every year I make sure I put that 4-game series, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday series on my calendar, and I want to work that day and talk about what happened 6 years ago during the bombings of the marathon and be part of Red Sox history.
I tell you, I see these guys, and I'll say this, I see these guys on the MLB network. I'm like, Wakefield can do a better job than that up there. I'm like, I picked his brain about baseball before. I'd love to see Tim up there on the MLB network. Once again, we're here at the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital Classic here. Of course, Coach Tom Kelsey, he does a great job. He's got a little bit of fame in his family, too.
Absolutely.
Travis Kelsey there, as Caden Jones with a hard liner there, and he reaches quickly back to the bag. The next batter up is Devin Jacomite for Holy Trinity. And so what do you expect? Lost the tough one the Red Sox did.
Yeah, yesterday.
A good one. Yankees walked it off. What do you expect from the Red Sox this year?
I expect them to go back to the postseason. They got pretty much the same lineup, the same rotation, other than Chris Sale. He's hurt right now, but when he gets back in there, it's going to be a good boost to their starting rotation. Their bullpen is super, super strong. They went out and traded for Trevor Story to get some more offensive production out of the second base position. Man, this kid can hit.
Yeah, he can.
And he's a true professional. Being around those guys, I think the organization really does a really good job of getting guys that know how to play the game the right way. Even though they're all superstars, they're all very, very humble, and it's just a pleasure to be around those guys when I'm up there working. It really is.
I tell you, I'm excited for the baseball season coming up. That's a quick out from the shortstop to the second baseman. They couldn't turn the 6-4-3 double play, so that'll bring up number 42, Ryan Mell, the first baseman, seventh batter in Coach Kelsey's lineup. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know. My Orioles are going to lose another 100 games this year. What was it like pitching in that park?
It was great. It was a home game for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be honest with you.
You're right.
It was a home game for us.
It
Unfortunately,
was.
I felt so bad for the Oriole fans.
That's me.
But Camden Yards, what a special place that was.
Yeah.
And I loved pitching there. I got to see Cal Ripken's last game there, which was fantastic. We were actually there because that was in 2001 when the Twin Towers were attacked.
That's
and
right.
Our season was postponed for a week.
That's right. I forgot
And
about that.
we went back and finished the season in Baltimore, and it was Cal's last game.
Correct me
Pretty
if
cool.
I'm wrong, but I was there at Camden Yards, a slow chopper down the third base line. I was there for Manny. I think Manny Ramirez hit his 500th at Camden Yards, and the place I'll never. Me and my buddy got up and left. I'm pretty sure it was Manny's 500th. He looked at me. He goes, "Do you realize that this entire place just stood up and did a standing?" I was like, "Let's get the hell out of here."
It was bad. I mean, it was great for us as Red Sox, but I felt so bad for the fans in Baltimore. And it was the same way for us when we went to Tampa. We had more Red Sox fans in Tampa than the Tampa Bay Rays had.
It's still that way in both
places. It still is that way, especially when the Yankees come into to Tampa, right? Their spring training facilities right down the street.
So I got to ask you, we're talking about your career, and what's it like being the guy on the other side now watching, for instance, I've seen you watch your daughter play volley. What's it like from that angle for you? How's that been?
It's been great. Watching her develop into the athlete that she's become. She's still got 2 more years of high school, and she's just every year she gets better and better. I love being a dad.
Yeah.
I love sitting in the stands and just not saying too much, just watching and giving her a little fist pump for her, and not be over celebratory, but I try to.
There is a definite
let her shine.
There is a definite difference between the way that you sit back and watch your daughter play volleyball. I know another former baseball player that watches his daughter, and he's completely different about it. Completely different. So, yeah. But as that was a nice turn there from the third baseman over to the second baseman, and he didn't waste it. There's a chopper. Can he get him? And that'll be the third and final out. So a good job by the Cocoa Beach infield that time. Tim, I appreciate you, man. I'm going to miss you next week.
Me too. I think it was the last time we saw each other was in Atlanta.
Did the
what was it? The
College Football
Hall of Fame. That's right.
That was fun, man. We had a great time, and please tell everyone I said hello, and I appreciate you, man. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for letting me be on your show.
Well,
appreciate
anytime. Come on, man.
I got you.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.